Já, Noel Saadawi, hún ég meina hún rithöfundur en hún byltingakona. Hún kannski fyrst rithöfundur sem talar tabú hluti í arabum löndum. Hún var, eða ég byrjaði að lesa fyrir henni og eða það var sagt við mig að Noel Saadawi búin að eyðileggja þig. Að því hún rosalega kvenréttindi baráttakona. Hún talar allt sem í alvörunni í okkar samfélaginu. Og þess vegna það var mikil svona að mótmæla hana. Við erum að búa í kallavalda heiminn og þau sagði henni að hún kommunisti og það að segja kommunisti það þýðir að þú trúar ekki á Guði. Og það var eins og ein leið til að banna fólk að lesa fyrir henni. Að hún það kona sem trúar ekki á Guði því má ekki lesa og hlusta á henni að því hún vantrúar kona, sko. Hún læknir, hún sálfræðingur, hún var í fangelsi, hún var, ég meina, það allt sem fólk hugsa kvennabaráttakona á Arabalöndum, það Noel Saadawi.
Noel Saadawi, welcome to this program. Amal Tamimi was saying that you were a dangerous influence, that you were considered a dangerous influence.
I am still.
You are still, yes.
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 What do you mean by dangerous?
I don't know. Your main subject has been women in your
Not only
country.
women. I think any creative writer, man or woman, is dangerous to the system.
Yes.
Because creativity means to be against injustice, against oppressions, against hypocrisy and lying. So creative writers must be dangerous. That's why they are put in prison.
Yes, and you have been in prison.
Yes.
And you have been an exile from your country. But you are living there now.
I live in Egypt, yes.
Yes. And how is the present situation in Egypt after the demonstration of Tahrir Square?
Well, we are having the revolution. At the revolution, I was dreaming of this revolution since 70 years ago when I was 10 years. So we have it. But of course, as any revolution, there is a relapse, counter-revolution.
Yes.
From external powers and internal powers, Mubarak people, because we got rid of the head of the regime. We got rid of the head.
Yes.
But the body of the regime still there.
Yes.
So we are fighting now to get rid of the body of the regime.
Yeah. But are you optimistic that this will be successful, that you can build like a democracy in Egypt? Or
Of course, I am optimistic. Even when I was in prison, I was optimistic, because hope is power.
Yes. What about, next door to Egypt, you have Libya. Now they have just ousted Colonel Gaddafi, who is a terrible tyrant, much worse than Mubarak.
But who is not tyrant? Obama is a tyrant. George Bush is a tyrant. All governments are dictators. So it's not only Gaddafi. Why the NATO is fighting in Libya, saving Libyan people from Gaddafi? Why they are not saving Palestinian people from Netanyahu? Netanyahu is a dictator, killing Palestinian people illegally. So the point is, I am not really speaking about Libya or Egypt alone, because we live in one world, and dictators everywhere, in Israel, in the United States, in Iceland, in Egypt, in Libya, in Iraq. So why the NATO is only fighting, in Libya? That's the question.
Yes.
The oil.
The oil.
The oil.
Yes.
The problem is the oil.
But what about the danger from Islamic fundamentalists, for example, in
Who
Egypt?
created? Usually I say Bin Laden and George Bush are twins. They used Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda to fight the communist people and Soviet Union. They created Taliban, the US government. I'm not speaking about the American people. I'm speaking about the government.
Yes.
The US government created the Taliban in Afghanistan. They supported bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. They are now negotiating with Islamic groups and Muslim brothers in Egypt. Hillary Clinton and Obama, they are negotiating with Islamic groups in Egypt. So I do not separate between Islamic groups and dictators, global dictators.
Yes. But what about the situation of women's rights? One of the frequently asked questions in the West is whether Islam is actually compatible with women's rights at all.
No religion is compatible with women. Judaism is very horrible with women. Christianity is very horrible with women. Islam also. So all religions against women. All with no exception. So why choosing only Islam? That's the question.
So you're an atheist. You're anti-religion, are you?
No, I don't call myself atheist. I call myself critical of religions because religion is a political ideology. What is religion? I spent 10 years of my life studying religions. Even Gita in India, I went to India. So what is religion? Religion is a political ideology. It deals with class, with money, with war, with sex,
Yes.
with everything.
Yes.
And women are inferior in all religions.
In all religions, women
In
are.
all, women
Yes.
are inferior to men.
Yes.
Yes.
But your life must have been your life has been a struggle, hasn't it? Struggling for views that are very unpopular in your part of the world. How is?
Can you repeat because I didn't get your accent?
Your life has been quite a struggle, hasn't it?
Yes.
Can you tell
All
me a
my
bit
life.
about it?
All my life.
Yeah.
Because as a child, I was born a poor child in the village, a poor girl. So when you are poor and also related to the inferior gender, women, you suffer a lot in any country. Islamic, Christian, Jews, Hindu, the same. So I felt the discrimination between me and my brother. So I rebelled.
Yes.
Since I was 10 years.
Yes. And you got an education, and you have been rebelling since.
I was fighting.
Yes.
They tried to marry me off when I was 10 in the village. And I was struggling until I went to the medical college. I became a doctor, you know, but this needed a lot of fighting.
Yes. Thank you for coming to Silver Age. You are a guest on the literary festival, and you will give a lecture, I know, tomorrow, I think.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.